Today, we're diving into the powerful personal story of one man, Davide Ramella. And it's a truly harrowing story of survival, a frustrating journey through the medical system, and ultimately a really crucial lesson in advocating for yourself. So let's get right into it.
It all started with just one single alarming number. In the middle of the night, December 29th, 2022, Davide woke up with an unbelievably high fever, 42 degrees Celsius. That's 107.6 Fahrenheit. This wasn't just some flu. This was the very first signal of what would become a fight for his life. And for months, that fever just would not break. Through the beginning of 2023, Davide was in and out of the emergency room. Every COVID test they gave him, negative. He actually pleaded for a simple blood culture test, one that could have found bacteria in his blood. But he was told it was only done in, quote, certain situations. So he was just sent home again and again with no real answers.
Now you have to understand, Davide's case was particularly tricky. He was already dealing with severe asthma, deafness, and a whole list of allergies to crucial drugs, including antibiotics. On top of that, he'd recently had a monoclonal antibody injection for his asthma, which made his allergist suspect it was all just an adverse drug reaction. It basically sent the entire investigation down the wrong path. The first real clue, the first breakthrough, came in March. A doctor noticed a faint, kind of strange heart murmur during a visit. Okay, progress. This led to a referral for an echocardiogram, but the initial test, it didn't show anything super alarming. Just a mild mitral insufficiency, which was something he already knew he had. It really felt like just another dead end.
But then, the very next day, a different cardiologist decided, you know what, let's do that exam again. And this is the moment where everything changed. The doctor puts the ultrasound on Davi's chest, her whole expression just shifts, and she calls in 3 of her colleagues. The words she said next were absolutely life-altering. You no longer have a mitral valve. Your heart is full of vegetations.
Let me take just a few seconds to say that, if you'd like to support my project, you can offer me a symbolic coffee on Ko-Fi. You'll find the link below in the description. You can also check out my book, where I've gathered many experiences and useful tips. Every gesture means a lot to me and truly helps me keep this channel and the whole project going. And if you haven't done it yet, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and visit my website or blog for more content. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The diagnosis was just devastating. Infective endocarditis with sepsis. What does that mean? It means bacteria had gotten into his bloodstream, attacked the inner lining of his heart, and literally destroyed one of his heart valves. The infection was now just raging through his entire body, causing massive organ damage.
He was rushed into intensive care. His heart was failing, his lungs were filling with fluid, and the infection had even caused a stroke in his cerebellum. He desperately needed open-heart surgery, and the doctors gave him a truly grim prognosis. He had just a 14% chance of survival.
But even in this incredibly critical moment, Davide made his own choice. The doctors were recommending a biological valve, which, would eventually break down and mean another huge surgery down the line. He refused it. He also refused any blood transfusions. Instead, he insisted on a St. Jude mechanical valve, a device that would last his entire lifetime, but would also mean he'd be on anticoagulant therapy forever.
On April 7th, his condition suddenly got worse and he was rushed into the operating room. For 8.5 hours, think about that. From 7 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon, surgeons worked to save his life, operating on his still heart while a machine kept him alive. But surviving the surgery? Well, that was only the beginning. He spent 10 days in the ICU battling just unbearable pain, fevers that kept coming back, and terrifyingly vivid hallucinations. His rehab was hit with more complications, like fluid in his lungs. And get this, it took an entire year just to get the dosage right for his critical anticoagulant medication. The fight was so far from over.
So what caused this whole catastrophic infection? Well, after they ruled out the common sources like dental work, investigators traced the most probable cause back to those monoclonal antibody injections he was getting for his asthma. The suspicion is that the medication itself was somehow contaminated.
This quote really captures the core message from Davide's testimony. His whole ordeal has forged a new mission for him, to empower other patients. He now urges everyone, become your own best advocate, fight to be heard, and demand the medical tests that you are entitled to. Today, Davide is living a completely new reality.
Life with a mechanical heart valve, it takes constant discipline, careful medication management, and yeah, an understanding of his new physical limits. But, as he emphasizes, a full life is still absolutely possible. A life that's defined not by what he lost, but by the fact that he fought and he won.
And that really brings us to the final haunting question at the heart of this entire story. Davide often thinks about how this whole thing, the destroyed valve, the sepsis, the open-heart surgery, that grueling recovery, how all of it might have been avoided. All if that one initial request for a simple blood culture, a test that could have found the bacteria months earlier, hadn't been denied. And it just leaves us all to wonder, how many other stories out there could have a different ending?